Hello, and welcome to a very special episode of NPCs of Taliesin.
NPCs of Taliesin is dead.
And that's just how I like it. Hello! Again, because, hi, welcome to NPCs of Taliesin, reviewing...
Oh no, we're not NPCs, this because it's a one-shot. We're Count Taliesin's one-shot. NPCs, we don't...
It's like, we don't have a title so much, but...
We're going to be called Count Taliesin something.
The county counters of...
Part 1.
Part 1, because there is going to be part 2 and possibly part 3. Yeah. For this. So, basically, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the system that Taliesin was using, it's essentially a slightly homebrewed version of World of Darkness. If you don't know World of Darkness, jump online and check it out. It's got a whole bunch of dark connotations to it. It's a very gothic style, vampires and such, werewolves and all that kind of thing.
It was Vampire the Masquerade. It was a spin on that.
It was a take of World of Darkness and Vampire Masquerade.
Basically, it was a homebrew.
Yeah. In the same way that Matt did Pathfinder and 50th and combined them, Taliesin kind of combined World of Darkness and Vampire Masquerade.
So I'll put both of them, both the image there, and just mesh them together.
Yeah.
You could call it Vampire
the Dark Array. Vampire the Darkness. So it was really cool. It was a really cool episode. We get to see Taliesin. We get to see Taliesin behind the DM screen.
Who was marrying Madame Marisha yesterday when we were recording this.
Yeah, which is awesome. Congratulations, guys. M&M is the hashtag if you want to get on all that. So, let's the music, the moment you own it. We're way too white to continue rapping. So, yes, the Taliesin one-shot, fantastic. So it's very meta, as a lot of the one-shots are. In fact, it takes place right after a stream. They all kind of fall unconscious and wake up.
Oh, it's actually after the last one.
That's right.
Yeah, 115.
Yes. After 115, Critical Role episode 115, that's when Taliesin's one-shot takes place. Essentially, the whole cast, minus Taliesin, wake up in coffins.
And you find out later in the episode it's a week later. But they don't know that until then. I also put a note here, Matt looks weird.
He does.
It's so odd.
Very dapper, but to see him not behind the screen.
Yeah, and they're all in different places.
And they all look bloody sexy as goths, I tell you that.
I think because Percy wasn't there, someone from one of the tables had to move there.
Yeah.
And I think, I like to just imagine how it went. Laura wanted to sit there, but Liam's like, I always sit beside Laura, so then Laura had to move, and then Sam was like, I have to go to the other table now. I like to think that's how it worked.
Yeah, it was awesome. Now, the cast members also were not too familiar with the dice system. They kind of learned as they went.
We learned as we went.
As did we, and the chat and everything,
And how spells work and everything. It was rather confusing at times, and I did have to kind of slow down and do my own little research. And I missed a few points just trying to work everything out. But
so basically they've got like hunger dice.
Yeah.
And they can regain willpower, which is from World of Darkness, one of the things in World of Darkness.
So from my understanding, there's some red dice. And if they fail on the red dice, the implications are worse than if they regularly fail.
Correct.
And they get more red dice, the hungrier they get.
Correct.
So once they feed, they lose their red dice, and then they basically get more hungry when they use more powers or do special things.
Yep, and you can regenerate stuff with willpower, as in World of Darkness. Yeah,
exactly.
So we kind of learned as we went. But anyway, they start inside a whole bunch of coffins.
Yeah, that's a whole bunch of coffins, and they...
Oh, strength rolls. I was trying to figure out what STG meant. Strength rolls to get out, essentially.
Yeah. And some of them eat some rats.
Yeah.
They didn't really hesitate to eat the rats. They kind of knew this is a vampire game, and like, get into it.
Yeah. And that gives them a little bit of power.
Yeah, and Travis gets out first.
Yeah, because he's the strongest.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think that was the thing. I think it's just...
their stats are based on who they are in real life, because they're playing themselves. So he had an easier time, but he still had to roll high to get out of that.
Yeah. So they all eventually kind of like get out of the little coffins, and they kind of try and work out where they are. And they're in the Nerdist offices, which is where Critical Role was filmed. The offices, like they've got Nerdist, Geek and Sundry, and there's a bunch of other companies that all film just to save money and do all that stuff.
So that's where they take place, and throughout the episode they travel through the Twitch studios and everything, and you get to actually meet a lot of the staff members behind the scenes in the form of Taliesin playing them and role-playing. Grog gets out, and he goes after Laura, which is adorable, which is what he would do, because they're married in real life, so he goes to find her, cute. Liam has a creepy mask face that's like made of porcelain and all cracked.
Yeah, I like the artwork they did. The special little artwork that
I didn't see it. How did I miss that?
Oh, just look it up. You'll be able to find it. I'll pop up one image here. I know it may be a bit copyrighted, but just a little teaser of the cast. And I think they did it really well. Like, they specifically designed this unique cast images for the game. I like
cool.
that.
Yeah, Travis actually just talks about, let's just leave, to Laura, let's just leave the rest of them, let's get the hell out of here ourselves. And there is throughout the episode a lot of backstabbing, not a lot, but a bit of backstabbing.
I could have fighting, I like it, like Sam and Liam's little plotting as well. And
fake alliances are set up and everything throughout it.
So I put here, Matt finds a Power Ranger helmet.
Yes.
So he puts on a Power Ranger helmet. I think it was a red Power Ranger helmet.
Yes, the best, most powerful. Obviously.
Yeah. So keep note that the majority of this episode takes place with him having a Power Ranger helmet.
Yeah, and a World of Warcraft sword at one point as well. Anyway, we go. Something is wrong, written in blood. Liam loses some red dice. Essentially, now they're just trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah. So basically, it's this whole episode. You could even call this a setup episode of them kind of working out what's going on, working out the system, working out the plot as well.
Yeah.
I put here. Marisha walks past the server room.
Yeah.
But they aren't servers. They're like
made of meat.
Very
strange, but kind of creepy,
and
which fits with the tone.
Danny Carr comes out of the server room. Now, Danny Carr is I think a production assistant or producer.
It sounds about right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Over in Geek and Sundry. So a lot of the time they drop names, but they do it the first name, like Chris.
Yep.
I thought it was Chris Hardwork for a while, but it was a different Chris.
Yeah.
So it gets a little bit confusing who these people are, but as we go through, we mentioned the cast. I'll try and pop them up the best of my ability. So.
Yeah. So we find more blood signs. Signs written in blood throughout the studios. This one says, "I was born in a box. How do I end?" And the party kind of freak out a little bit. They also find the circle. They find that fairly early on.
Yeah.
And the circle is presented in the style of a puzzle. Essentially, it's a circle with 4 corners, a heart, a face, a book, and a cross. And they try and figure out what the hell that means by going to other rooms.
Yeah, so that's the mystery.
Yeah.
And that's where we go from there. As we go here, as it goes, we meet Chris and with a sign saying "Drink me."
Drink me around his neck. Yeah, very strange, very spooky.
There's a lot of kind of weird... it even feels like Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, kind of Looking Glass kind of stuff.
Yeah, because Marisha goes to a creative meeting and drinks some tea.
Oh god, bad idea. Never drink the tea.
Never drink. So in the creative meeting we had Matt something, Whitney Moore, and Eric Campbell.
More people that are behind the scenes on different shows.
I'll pop them up there.
Yeah. Awesome. So the first double failure occurs with Keyleth. Essentially that means she goes a bit feral and just starts roaring at people.
Roaring?
Yeah.
Roaring.
I couldn't think of any
Roaring?
That is actually a word.
Yeah.
And not so much.
Roaring. Now, throughout the entire episode, we get dropped with the father.
Yeah, we hear the words of the father.
The father a lot. So the father will be like happy or something.
Yeah, appease the father.
We don't actually find out who the father is yet.
No.
But it feels like it's the end boss.
Yeah, bit of foreshadowing, most likely. Yep.
We get the classic Stanima.
Stamina.
Thing that goes on, Stanima.
Taliesin just can't get his head around stamina, and he keeps saying Stanima.
Come
on.
They
just go with it.
He can't say words. What a ridiculous human being he is.
For not being able to pronounce things.
What a fool.
So glad we don't have that problem.
No, we pronounce names and places very well.
Yep.
Steve.
No, we certainly do. Gregory.
Gregory. That's the best name you could come up with.
I'm on the spot.
You're an improv.
Okay,
you do improv. You're starting your own show.
I haven't performed that improv in like a month. I don't know. Gregory. I don't know.
So yeah, they go
drinks
ahead
the tea and weird mushroom stuff happens. They turn into mushrooms.
Yeah. Anyway, and they find a creepy Lego Hardwick, which is actually a thing in real life, but it turns out in this world it's creepier.
Yeah.
Or less creepy. I think they said it was less creepy.
They also find that all the windows are blocked throughout the Twitch studios. I've got written, "Weird mushroom creatures, how high are you right now?" Because there was some very weird stuff with some of the Twitch, like some of the behind the scenes people with mushrooms growing out of them, and they kind of open them and it's just...
It kind of reminds me of Last of Us.
Okay, I haven't played it.
Last of Us, they're kind of, it's like a fungus kind of undead creature.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing.
But I think that's relevant in Critical Role because Ashley Johnson plays one of the main characters. But yeah, when you go to talking about the blinds, Matt goes to kind of pull them open.
Come on, Matt, you're smarter than that.
Yeah, it's like... He's
Matt, you know vampires, and you know vampires in the game because you're playing yourself.
And this is actually credit to Taliesin's storytelling there. The beam of light hits him, and initially nothing happens, and then eventually starts splitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everyone's like, no. So the first game Matt plays in for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
He dies.
He dies almost immediately. It was like, 25 minutes into the episode?
Something like that. It was very early on.
That's the end of Matt for the one shot. He got all dressed up.
Now, for the record,
yeah.
I think him and Marisha were supposed to die.
Right.
Because they couldn't attend next week's, because they're married and they're on the honeymoon.
Yes.
But I don't think it was supposed to happen
that quickly.
That's my theory on it. I could be completely wrong, or they had a plan of brushing them off. Like at the end.
At the end, it comes back.
They could have just got wiped there, and that could be where they were supposed to end up.
Right. Matt turns to ash and then takes no further part in the episode.
Yeah.
After all that,
he was so sad.
I know, and he got all dressed up. He had like a real nice suit on and everything. He had
a bit of a suit jacket like I do.
Yeah, he was looking good.
But he just looked really. Generally sad.
Don't open the blind. You're a vampire. Anyway, I've got Marisha don't drink the tea, but that's too late.
She drinks the tea.
The last thing she ever says is, mushrooms do not sit well with me. And then she kind of just turns into mushrooms.
Yeah.
Don't drink the tea, basically, is the lesson from that.
Or don't get married, apparently it kills you.
So Matt and Marisha...
I like the jokes they had about whether they can refund the gifts. or them saying... I think the wedding's probably not going to happen. That was good.
So Matt and Marisha die very, very early on. Liam is after that. Liam is talking to some cast members, and they're trying to. I can't remember what they're trying to do. They're trying to figure out something. And he mentions that he's got some tickets to Hamilton.
Oh no, because there was going to be a gift.
Oh yeah.
For Matt and
Marisha. That's right. So he mentions that he has Hamilton tickets, and that's when a whole bunch of people start coming towards him and freaking them out a little bit.
Yeah, basically they're like Hamilton tickets because that's a big thing over there. We don't get to see Hamilton
because no one comes to New Zealand.
I think they had a show in Australia recently.
Because a lot of people in the global community think that Australia and New Zealand are pretty much the same place. You do a show in one of them that pretty much counts. Although we did just get Nathan Fillion here for Armageddon Expo, but that was in Auckland, and I swore I'd never go there again. Anyway,
and like the Critical Role cast is going to an Australian event.
I know, come to New Zealand. We love you so much.
They come to New Zealand, but that was before
I knew about them. Not fair. Time travel. We're going to get to Japan.
Maybe one day. NPCs in Teodoro is just us stalking them in Auckland or
we'll just follow them from room to room with a camera.
Yeah. And there's just that Matt, and he turns around and we're just around the corner.
Yeah. Every time they just, love you Marisha, love you baby. Just
we wouldn't do that.
No, of course not. So you should totally tweet your location.
Anyway, they were internally plotting with each other throughout the episode. They were just kind of scheming. Liam and Sam were kind of teaming up, and Travis and Laura were...
Oh, something we were supposed to mention, they improvised a whole bunch of weapons. They knew that they needed to defend themselves at some point, so they kind of got like a whip made of Ethernet cord, I think it was, and so they've all got like improvised weapons, which is quite cool. Scanlan uses his whip on one of the mushroom creatures.
But to be honest, nothing... They went they went in danger.
No.
There wasn't an immediate threat they actually needed the weapons. I think the whole first kind of part was all about them discovering their powers and discovering the world and playing with the world. Yeah. So they didn't actually need the weapons. They just assumed that they needed them. They are the...
Well, I mean, it's that careful, safer than sorry thing, but Taliesin did actually mention at the end of this that the next episode he's introducing more of their powers. So they don't know everything. He didn't want to overwhelm them, I think it was. Yeah. So there's going to be more of that. Liam and Sam form an alliance. Travis overhears them. That's when we go to break. Some people win some things.
And by this time, Sam's already killed a man.
Yeah, already. Travis actually goes the whole episode without killing anyone. And then gets a blood dice at the end.
Because he stupidly mentions that to the DM. And goes,
the DM goes, he has a blood dice. When we come back, they're still trying to figure out the circle. They find their way into a prop closet. And that's when a few more weapons are acquired, I do believe. Yes. That's when the World of Warcraft sword is found. Stainless steel sword, kind of like... I don't know why I pointed, you can't see. I was like, just look over there. And then
I know Laura finds a VR system and she plays with that for a while.
As you would. Yeah. VR's amazing.
She just plays Resident Evil.
I'm saving up to buy a VR. I've got nothing yet.
Cool story, bro.
Thanks.
They got in prop cupboard. Sam and Laura look for rats because they're getting hungry because they've used some of their powers. Yep. But Liam basically goes off on his own and bites people.
Yep.
Arcade? They have a friend called Arcade, apparently.
Great name.
I couldn't find any... when Geek and Sundry Arcade, or just try to find... It just obviously just showed Arcade shops and stuff. I couldn't find a person called Arcade. I don't know who it is.
Twilight Zone music.
I don't think it's Twilight. It's just we don't know. I don't know.
I suppose it's less of a mystery and just our own.
It's just his name, and it's just not publicly known.
They put Matt's ashes on the bubble, on the circle, and it begins to bubble.
Well, after it was in the Power Rangers helmet.
Yeah. So they dump it on the circle, and one of the corners starts to bubble and boil, and they go, okay, we're getting somewhere. We obviously need to figure out whatever needs to go on the other 3 squares.
Yeah. So basically, it's a bit of a puzzle solving.
Yeah.
But then they need to find a little bit more clues, kind of branch out a bit. So Liam and Sam go to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. It's not supposed to sound as creepy as it sounds on service. Travis goes to the audio booth.
He finds more Twitch people hiding.
Yes. I know the two. I'm actually fans of the two. And Laura goes to the back offices. So
yes.
they split the party, as you should.
Always split the party.
Always split the party.
Laura rolls for some and gets, I think, the second 2 red dice fails and spends a willpower point to re-roll whatever she wants. So willpower is essentially like inspiration in 5th ed, and you actually regain it.
It's kind of luck.
Yeah, or inspirational luck, and essentially you can regain it through certain criteria, like the DM will set it. Like when I was playing in a World of Darkness game, I was a bad guy, my willpower regenerated every time I created chaos. So if I set a building on fire, or feed someone ice cream until their stomachs implodes,
or live
internally,
with them.
or live with, exactly,
you cause chaos.
Sound of Silence at full volume at 9 o'clock in the morning when he's just trying to watch Power Rangers and eat cotton candy. But essentially you regenerate this stuff. I don't know.
Apparently I'm a 12-year-old boy.
Basically you regenerate this stuff. So it's like inspiration that you can regenerate by doing certain things. So actually use one of her willpower points and re-rolls and doesn't do it.
I'd say it's closer to luck than inspiration, though.
It probably is, because it's re-rolling.
It's re-rolling, yeah. Anyway, so the Travis goes to the audio room. It's blocked off. Initially he was just going to move on, but then he realised he can just barge through it.
Yeah.
And then we find Amy Darlin and Jodie Hoser. Amy Darlin, she really loves her comic books. I'm a huge fan of her. I think she either runs a comic book shop or she owns a comic book shop, but she talks about it all the time. So she's a huge nerd. Like her.
Cool.
And then in the back room, Laura finds Evan.
Yep.
I'll pop him up. Then Sam and Amy.
Different Sam, not Sam Riegel.
Yeah, and Amy.
Yep. And they're all playing something.
And Max. There's 4 of them.
And they're playing a weird game of cards. Essentially they enter. This is when they discover that it is in fact the deck of many things.
Well, it's the world's deck of many things.
So it's essentially their version of the deck of many things.
Yeah.
And Laura decides that, hey, that might be a good idea to pull some. Travis obviously wants to pull some. Vance is not there.
But as before, like Laura's like walking in and they're playing the cards.
Yeah.
Someone pulls out a card and a spider pulls Sam. That Sam away. So that's kind of how the whole scene starts. I think that was really cool.
They're also sitting in complete darkness. The chairs are there, the table's there, and the rest of the floor is just complete darkness, which is bizarre. Anyway, someone mentions that pulling cards makes father happy. We get another reference to whoever the father is and his role in this whole mess of tangled chaos, this web of confusion and such. Anyway, a card is pulled, the 2 of Swords. And Max, essentially they make Max, through intimidation, was it? Or something similar? They make him pull some cards.
Yeah.
And when he does...
Are you just stroking yourself, or are you doing that for effect?
That was for effect.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
just stroking my
face. Just randomly during a video, you just start going,
Yeah.
My beard is big. Oh, man, my beard feels nice.
We can edit that out. Anyway,
no.
Cards are pulled and stuff happens.
No!
I was hoping you'd jump in there, but
stuff happens. It's just elaborate on that.
I lost my place.
But yeah, basically they realise this is a bad situation, so Laura tries to kill Evan.
Yeah.
And doesn't really like it very much. Yeah.
Kind of pushes him out of the chair, and he falls out of the chair. And he would fall on the ground, but there is no ground. He just tumbles into darkness, and she's like, oops. Oh, well.
That's one way of doing things.
Seemingly she can stand on the darkness, but they cannot. To them, it's just a void.
And basically they search a bit further, and they find the Book of Nod. Is it the telling of the Book of Nod?
I don't have it written down.
No,
So
I think I
go with
got
whatever
that.
you
They
say.
find this book that tells them about vampirism.
Yes.
So it allows them to kind of learn a bit of knowledge within the game about vampires and what they are and all that jazz. And Laura feeds on Smart Girls. So Smart Girls apparently a charity organisation by Amy Poehler.
Yeah.
She's the one from Parks and Rec.
Right. Yes.
The blonde girl from
yeah.
And so Laura feeds on like some I think it's a women's rights or a women's kind of, I can't remember the exact organisation.
Yeah.
But basically good people.
Yeah. So
like good people just want to make the world a better place. She feeds them.
Yeah, she comes in and she goes, guys, is anyone in here? And she's like, there's monsters and stuff, pretending that she herself is not a monster, which she is. And at this point, she just cuddles up to one of them and is like, oh, I'm so glad I found you. I'm so glad. And bites and just essentially feeds and does a whole bunch of draining of blood, which is, all right, sure, that's kind of dark, Laura. But hey, that's the thing.
Dick move, Laura. Basically.
Dick move. But yeah, part of the story. So that happens.
Yeah. So that goes on. So they're kind of embracing their vampirism at this point and kind of realizing.
Except for Travis, who still hasn't killed anyone.
Yeah. Travis is still on the high road on that. And then the werewolf.
Werewolves. Yeah. So essentially, they find some other people that I can't remember how they figure it out, but they figure out that they're werewolves.
And they feed a kid to them.
Yeah. Well, and then what's his name? Taliesin does some coin flipping and stuff behind the screen to decide who attacks.
This bit got a bit confusing for me.
I started not tuning out. I started finding it difficult to cohesively form thoughts at this point.
Yeah.
We then get the line, life needs things to live, which was hidden away. One of the characters said that, which was just a wonderful callback to...
So Liam uses the prison on Laura to try and convince Laura to save him, or to kind of be on his side still. But then we get a very odd kind of figure arrive, Gary Gygax.
They come into a room and sitting there... they come into the Twitch studio, where they live stream their games, and sitting there behind the DM screen is Gary Gygax, who you will probably know as the creator.
May not know.
Or you may not, but you're about to, unless you turn off here, but don't, because then you'll
It's
never
an
know.
odd placement to finally turn it off.
It is. Why would you do that? Well, they can't hear us ask them, because
Just say it.
Gary Gygax was the creator of Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, he was one of the writers.
Yeah.
That's a nice little throwback.
Yeah, so they make Gary Gygax, and it turns out that the circle was actually his puzzle. At this point, they've solved it, I think.
And it kind of sounded like he was manipulating everything.
Yeah.
Kind of gave that impression.
Yeah.
So maybe he was the father, which would make
Possibly.
sense because he's the father of D&D.
So basically, what he reveals at this point is that he's made them undead so that they can do Critical Role forever and ever and ever and ever. But then he finds out that Matt has died, and that really messes up his plan, and he's like, holy crap, how did you let him die? Oh my god, the whole plan is ruined. And he doesn't really say it too outright, but essentially implies that, it was him that they had... all this stuff is tied up with Gary Gygax in some way.
And I love the one where Sam proposes that, you can play with us and we can play together. And he's like,
You're not Matt Mercer.
Nothing personal, but I really wanted to play with Matt.
Such a good bit. There's also some jokes about trying to get him to sign stuff and
because they basically Gary Gygax is a huge fan of them, and they kind of like, all right, we're going to kind of
he said
play along.
Gary Gygax, well, Percy as Gary Gygax says, I'm so excited to meet you, but you should never meet your heroes. And Scanlan just goes, that was a really weird backhanded compliment.
That's true.
Then we find out that they've only got 60 seconds until something happens. They had found TNT, I believe, at some point, and they think maybe that's what's going to happen. But Gygax essentially says, none of this is going to matter in 60 seconds. And they're like, oh, beep. Crap, okay, that's not good, that's a time.
He kind of pushes a little button.
Yeah.
And they know they're running out of time. But then, bang! Saved by the other Matt Colville, the writer of Critical Role and
Vox Machina Origins,
and he's a vampire too, and he pins them against the wall and they struggle and then they dive underneath the table and then the Geek and Sundry officers go up in flame and then it stops.
That's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Now Percy at the end of this. Sorry, Percy. Taliesin. And then I'm always bad at calling people.
You call him Scanlan. You call Sam Scanlan.
I don't know. Taliesin essentially, wraps it up at that point and says, "We'll find out what happens next in the next episode." He also mentions that the next episode should have a guest, or possibly even two. A guest or two, maybe he says, but to make up the numbers, probably. He also says that he'll introduce new powers for the players.
So I think they kind of get used to the system and they've reached that point.
They didn't really do too much spell casting or anything throughout this episode, but they'll obviously do more of that in the next one.
Yeah, so it's been very interesting having a new system on Critical Role.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like it. I'm still mixed emotions, but I like the different take and the kind of refreshing palette kind of it.
Yeah.
I think I don't like it because I don't know the rules yet.
Yeah. Now I personally like World of Darkness as a player. I played it in a game. It was like a 7-8 hour game. Ended in 4 a.m. Great game. And I loved it as a player. I think as I think it works. I think 5th Ed works better as a game to watch than World of Darkness. Just because with 5th Ed you got nat 20s and it's you can tell when he says DC 18 or I rolled a 19. It's a lot easier to tell the successes. With World of Darkness, it's more like 3 successes, 2 failures, 2 on the red die.
Yeah,
it's harder to tell what.
That kind of stuff kind of a bit confusing. And
but as we go, we'll learn.
I did get lost in a few points.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that was just me being disengaged or I just got lost in the way the story was being told.
Yeah.
But overall, I enjoyed it. So.
Is the next one shot of this going to be next week?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So hopefully by next week we will have caught up on the rules a bit more in terms of we've seen it, and the second time we're going to go, oh right, that's what red dice, blah 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 kind of thing. But yeah, I think it was great. I think Taliesin had an interesting time. At first, he wasn't doing too many character voices, but he was doing a lot of like face acting, which was face acting, like a lot of just acting. Yeah, I don't know. I said face acting. He was doing like he gave
opposed to voice acting.
Just I don't know, face acting and voice acting. Yeah, essentially he just he just had some cool moments. That was
footing.
Okay, for fuck's sake. Fine, you wrap up the video.
Oh yeah, so I really enjoyed it. It was a nice kind of different palette skins, and it makes me excited what we're going to be experiencing over the next couple of weeks.
Yep, so we look forward to the next one. We will continue to do reviews and recaps of the one-shots and reviews and recaps of the first couple of episodes of Critical Role. So, that is our recap and review of Taliesin's wonderful World of Darkness / Vampire Masquerade one-shot.
Yep. Now, if you do want to kind of know some insights of the New Zealand Dungeons & Dragons scene, you should check out our podcast that we've got going with our
international award-winning 5-star in the Edinburgh Festival's comedian, actor, improviser, wonderful fellow Benjamin Crellin.
I was going to say friend.
And he's a friend as well. Do you know how I became friends with him? I showed him a magic. I showed him a magic trick. I saw him and I was like, oh my god, I'm so starstruck. I've seen this guy perform like for my whole life. I was like, pick a card, and I did a real cool trick, and we became friends.
And that's how I met him.
Yeah.
So me and Ben, we run a podcast. This guy was on the second one. I'm on the one next week.
Yep.
But if you do want a bit of an insight into the not just Dungeons & Dragons, we talk about role playing in general. So we've had people on talking about the Doctor Who role playing.
We had the guy that wrote that, didn't we?
Yeah, we had one of the guys that wrote one of the source books.
Yeah.
We also had someone that runs a role playing convention.
Yeah.
Confusion,
which I'm DMing a game in on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. So if you do want to check it out, kind of just give it an episode or two, and just generally support us. That'll be amazing. We really love all the subscribers and likes and comments that we've had on our videos, so just keep doing that to make us happy, because that's what makes us happy. We'll see you guys next week for part 2. Have a good one. D20 Multiverse, where nerds are power. I came up with a tagline. You need better tagline. No, I'm not going to keep this voice up, because it's really hurting my throat. Your voice always annoys me. I tried to think of a punchline. That's the best I can do as an insult. Okay, let's just